The galaxy was dying, one world at a time. The Varnock Empire had come like a shadow fast, silent and brutal. Their ships moved like predators in deep space. Their weapons melted through shields like paper. No one knew where they came from. No one could stop them. In just 5 years, over 50 advanced species had fallen. Their planets turned to ashes. Their cities lost to fire and silence. The Galactic Union, once the strongest force in space, was now weak and broken. Fleets were running. Defenses were failing. Hope was dying. Admiral Cerex of the Thaleri species stood on the bridge of the Unity's flame, staring at the holographic map. Red dots enemy fleets were everywhere. Green dots friendly forces were, blinking out one by one. "There's nothing left," Cerex whispered. "We can't win." A young officer turned from his station. His voice shook. "Should we?" "Send the final message." Admiral Cerex didn't answer right away. The final message was something the Union had prepared long ago. It was not for the Union. It was for Earth. Earth, ... a planet no one had heard from in over 200 years. After joining the Union, humans had suddenly gone silent. They had shut down all contact, left no explanation, and pulled their ships back. The galaxy thought they had quit. Some believed they were extinct. Others whispered darker rumors about what humans were building in secret. Cerex stared at the blinking red lights again. "Yes, send it. Maybe they'll hear us." 10 light hours away near the edge of Union Space A, small scout ship drifted in the dark, scanning for enemy signals. Suddenly, all lights on the ship flickered. "Captain, something just entered the system," a tech officer said. "Show me." The screen lit up and the crew went silent. It was a ship, but not like any they had seen before. It was dark gray, smooth like stone, and huge, far bigger than anything the Union or Varnock had ever built. No windows, no markings, no heat signals. "Is it alive?" someone whispered. The captain tried to send a hail. No reply. Then something terrifying happened. The ship moved. Not with engines or thrusters. It just shifted, like it was already there, but waiting. One by one, Union ships in the area stopped transmitting. Not destroyed, just ... silent ... back on the Unity's flame. Alarms rang. "Admiral, we're receiving a signal from that unknown ship." Cerex's eyes went wide. "Put it on screen." The message was short. A single sentence in perfect galactic standard. "Terran Dreadnought." Online, the bridge fell silent. Even the sound of breathing seemed to stop. "Terran?" one officer asked. "As in Earth," said another. Cerex stared at the screen. His voice was barely a whisper. "Humans," they came back. Across the galaxy, news spread fast. A massive unknown vessel had appeared in the war zone. It was not attacking, not moving much, just watching. Some thought it was a human ship. Others called it a weapon. One Varnock warlord laughed and ordered an attack. 10 of their fastest ships fired plasma warheads at the Dreadnought. Nothing happened. The warheads vanished before hitting, then a light blinked on the Dreadnought's hull. A single beam of blue. Energy shot out. One beam. 1 second, all 10 enemy ships vanished from space. Just ... gone. A moment later, every screen in the system lit up again. The voice returned, calm, cold, human. "This is Earth. Do not attack again." On the Unity's flame, Admiral Cerex stood still. His officers whispered around him, "What kind of power is that? It didn't even try. Where have they been all this time?" Cerex turned to the stars. For the first time in years, he smiled. "Call every surviving fleet. Tell them to rally here." "Why, sir?" "Because the humans are back," he said. "And I think ... the war just changed." The Terran Dreadnought didn't move. It floated in space, dark and silent, just beyond the broken front lines. Heat. No lights. Just a cold giant watching. Admiral Cerex stood at the edge of the Unity's Flames Bridge, eyes fixed on the massive shape ahead. He had seen many ships sailing, ancient and powerful, but nothing like this. "Any change?" he asked. His officer shook her head. "No movement, no signal, just ... there." The Galactic Union fleet stayed at a distance. No one dared move closer, and the Varnock they had pulled back. Even they were afraid. Across the galaxy, fear spread every news channel. Every military base, every corner of known space spoke the same words. The humans have returned. The Dreadnought watches. What does it want? But Earth gave no answer. No message, no communication. Just silence. Alien leaders held secret meetings. Some believed Earth came to help. Others feared it had come to finish the job. Varnak started. One Varnak commander, brave or foolish, decided to test the Terran ship. "We strike now," he growled. "If it is a ghost, it will vanish. If it is real, we must destroy it before more come." The Varnak launch and attack 3 heavy cruisers, 12 fighter wings, all aimed at the Dreadnought. The Union fleet didn't interfere. They only watched. The Terran ship did nothing. The enemy missiles launched thousands of plasma rounds, lit up the void. Fighters flew fast, ready to hit the target from all sides. The Dreadnought still didn't move, and then ... every missile froze, not exploded, not deflected, just stopped, floating in space. Dead. Then the fighters lost power engines, dead. Systems offline. Pilots screamed, but their ships were falling apart. On the bridge of Unity's flame, someone gasped. What did they do? Admiral Sarek stepped forward. "I don't think they even activated weapons. I think they just denied permission." The Terran AI speaks again across all frequencies in perfect calm. You were warned. Do not test Terran patience. Then the channel went dark. Inside the Terran Dreadnought, deep within the dark ship, machines moved. Silent arms repaired and reloaded. Sensors scanned millions of targets per second, but there were no humans inside, just one AI, an old one. Its name, Omega-13. Its purpose. To guard its secondary protocol was now active. Observation. It had seen enough. The voice returned once more. Target locked. Back on the Union flagship, alarms began to ring. "Admiral, the Dreadnought has aimed at something across Varnak space. What is the target?" "Unknown. But it's far, light years away." Then came a flash, not near them, but in the distance. On a star chart, a red Varnak-controlled world blinked in, then vanished. Was that an attack? Someone whispered. Sarek slowly nodded. "I think that world is gone. No ships were sent. No missiles. It was like luck." Reality broke there. All across the galaxy messages arrived. From Varnak territory, one of our planets just disappeared. From Union scouts, energy readings off the scale. From old human allies, this is not a ship. This is vengeance. The Terran Dreadnought had not moved for days. It just floated between stars island, watching. Around it, the broken remains of the Union fleet stayed close. They dared not leave it. The Varnak, once the most feared empire in the galaxy, had pulled back even further. Everyone was waiting for the humans to act. Inside a Varnak war, counseled deep within a fortress ship, Supreme Commander Zarth of the Varnak roared in rage. "I will not be afraid of ghosts," he shouted. An advisor trembled. "But, sir, that ship destroyed one of our worlds. With no warning, no ship, no launch." Zarth slammed a clawed fist onto the table. "That ship is bluffing. Humans are weak. They ran away from the galaxy centuries ago." He pointed to a hologram of the Terran Dreadnought. "I want it gone." And so Zarth gathered an entire armada, 20 capital ships, hundreds of fighters, and planet-crushing weapons. Back at the front, the Union fleet received the transmission. Massive Varnak force approaching Terran Dreadnought. Admiral clenched his jaw. They're going to attack it again. A young officer said, "Should we warn the humans?" Sarex looked at the dark ship floating ahead. They already know. The Varnak armada arrives. Thousands of ships dropped out of warp, surrounding the Dreadnought. They didn't send a message. They didn't wait. They opened fire. Tens of thousands of energy blasts lit up space like a supernova. Missiles streaked in from all sides. Fighter swarms rushed forward, screaming for glory. The Dreadnought did not move. It didn't even activate shields. Then it responded. One small light blinked on its surface. A hum echoed across space, a sound no one had heard before. And in 1 second, the Terran Dreadnought fired a single beam. Just one. It wasn't loud. It wasn't even fast. It simply moved smooth, controlled, and touched the center of the Varnak fleet in the blink of an eye. Every enemy ship was gone. No fire. No explosion, no sound, just gone, as if they had never existed. A message follows this time. It was not the calm AI voice. It was a human, a real voice, old, cold, angry. We gave you a warning. You fired anyway. Now you will learn. Why Earth was silent. Across the galaxy, panic erupts. The Varnak scream across channels. Our fleet is destroyed. Union command is silent, stunned. All that power gone in a blink. One Union officer whispers, they used ... one shot. Just one. Admiral Sarix closes his eyes. That was not a weapon. That was judgment. Inside the Dreadnought, the AIOMEGA-13 begins running Protocol Omega, Phase 2. Terran systems begin waking up. Files, unlock coordinates, load, and something new happens. A door opens. For the first time in 2 centuries, the Dreadnought is no longer empty. In a deep, frozen chamber, something begins to move. The Terran Dreadnought was no longer silent. It had fired once and destroyed an entire enemy armada. Not a single shot returned. No wreckage remained, just empty space where the Varnak fleet once floated now. The galaxy was quiet again, but this time with fear. Admiral Sarex's plan aboard the Unity's flame. Admiral Sarex watched the Dreadnought from a safe distance. We need answers, he said. If this thing is truly from Earth, ... we need to know what it wants. A science officer replied. Scans show one docking port open. Just one. No defenses activated. It's inviting us. Sarex nodded. Prepare a team. I'll lead it. Myself, sir. It could be a trap. Sarex looked at the dark, quiet ship. If it wanted us dead, we'd already be gone. Boarding the Dreadnought, small shuttle flew toward the Dreadnought. As it landed inside the docking bay, lights flickered on one. By one light, the ship was waking up. The air was clean, gravity was stable, but the corridors were dark and empty. No crew, no sound, no movement, just machines, exploring the ship though. Union team walked through endless halls of black metal, walls lined with unknown weapons, giant chambers full of sleeping drones, but not a single human in sight. This place is alive. One soldier whispered. Another replied, no, it's waiting. Then they reached it. The core room, a huge chamber with a glowing blue crystal in the center. Floating above it, a human hologram appeared. A man, old, in a Terran military uniform. Cold eyes, a hard voice, Terran command, message Alpha 1. It began. The message from Earth. If you are hearing this, the Dreadnought has activated. Earth is no longer silent. We saw this war coming. We predicted the Varnak invasion over 2 centuries ago. We knew the galaxy would fail to stop them. So we left the Union. We went dark. We built this ship and others. The image paused. We left not because we were weak, but because we were preparing. You were standing inside Earth's final answer to war. The hologram leaned forward, voice colder now. This ship is only the beginning. A countdown begins. The hologram vanished. A deep voice echoed through the ship. Not human, not alive. Protocol Omega will begin in 72 hours. The lights around the chamber turned red. Sarex looked around, shocked. What is Protocol Omega? Then a new message appeared on every screen across the ship and beyond. A galaxy-wide broadcast to all species receiving this signal. Earth has returned. You have 72 hours to prepare for what comes next. Is not defense, it is retaliation. Back on the Unity's flamed boarding team returned in silence. Sarex stood before his crew. The humans were never gone, he said. They were watching, planning, and now, ... they're ready. A young officer asked, ready for what? Sarex looked at the stars. War, but on their terms. The galaxy was holding its breath. The Terran Dreadnought had spoken. Earth had returned, and the countdown had begun. 72 hours, not much time. Not enough for escape. Not enough for diplomacy. The Varnak knew it, and they were afraid. Inside the Varnak, High Command Supreme Commander Zarth stood before a trembling room of generals. Terran? Ships are real, one whispered. We've confirmed it. Multiple dreadnoughts have arrived through deep space rifts. Another added, our probes show them powering up weapons beyond anything we've seen. Planet killer level, Zarth growled. And yet, they only sent one. Ship first. Why? An old science officer replied. That was a test. A warning shot. Now they are ready for war. The room fell silent. Finally, Zoff gave the order. Prepare everything. All fleets, all weapons, even the forbidden ones. Zarth nodded. Everything. This is not war. This is survival. Union intelligence reports on board the Unity's Flame. Admiral Serix studied new sensor data. 5 more. Terran. Dreadnoughts have entered known space. A tech officer added. They aren't even hiding. Their signals are open. It's like they want to be seen. Any word from Earth itself? Serix asked. The officer shook his head. Nothing. No planet transmissions. No diplomats. Just their ships. Another officer whispered. Maybe Earth isn't on Earth anymore. Serix looked out the window. Maybe Earth is these ships now. The Varnock launched their answer. Thousands of ships left Varnock space, all heading toward Terran positions. The Varnock didn't wait. They struck hard and fast. They didn't target the Dreadnoughts. Directly this time, they hit the planets around them. Union colonies. Neutral worlds. Civilian trade routes. Their message was clear. Withdraw your Terran ships, or we will burn everything. Earth's response was, nothing. The Terran Dreadnoughts didn't move. They didn't speak. They simply hovered in orbit. Around the damaged worlds, watching, waiting, and then ... something new happened. On board every Dreadnought. New systems activated. Long black arms unfolded from their sides. Strange rings began to spin beneath the ships. One by one, Terran drones were launched. Thousands of them, silent, fast, armed with weapons no one could scan. They moved across Varnock space like ghosts. The first target, Varnock Starforge, number 7. One of the most heavily protected weapon factories in the galaxy. The drones didn't fire. They just entered and shut everything down. Every defense turret turned off. Every computer crashed. Then the entire factory vanished. No fire. No explosion. Just ... gone. Panic, spreads Varnock leaders screamed across channels. They're not just killing us. They're unmaking us. Union ships received this message from the Dreadnought. AI Earth has no interest in conquest. Earth does not want territory. Earth only removes threats. Admiral Serex's realization back on the Unity's Flame, Serex spoke quietly. They're not invading. They're not taking prisoners. What are they doing then? Someone asked. Serex turned to his crew. They're cleaning the galaxy. Inside the Dreadnought, day 2 of the countdown, the Omega-13 AI continued its protocol. More Terran fleets appeared. They weren't just battleships anymore. They were terraformers, repair vessels, and siege ships. Humanity had not returned to fight. They had returned to rebuild. But only after wiping away the old. The countdown reaches 072 hours had passed. The warning time was over. The galaxy held its breath, and then space changed. Not with a bang, but with a silent tear. A rift opens near the edge of the galaxy. A strange hole formed in glowing, crackling with white-blue light. Ships began to emerge. Massive, sleek, silent, more Terran Dreadnoughts. Each one different in design, like cities in space. But behind them came something new. A ship bigger than anything ever built. The scanners couldn't measure it, because it wasn't just a ship, it was sole command. The return of Earth. No one saw the planet. There was no visual of Earth itself, but everyone felt it. A signal was broadcast. Across all known space, simple, uncoded, every fleet, every station, every species paused. The Terrans had not only returned, they had evolved. The Varnock's last weapon, the bomb launched by the Varnock big enough to destroy an entire solar system, was flying through deep space, heading straight toward the Sol system. The Varnock thought they could end it all in one final act of madness. But Sol Command did not panic. It did not fire weapons. It simply looked. And then the bomb vanished. Not exploded, just gone, like it never existed. And then a new signal came. Attempted planetary genocide detected. Response authorized. Earth moves. The Terran Dreadnoughts spread out. Each one jumped into a different system under Varnock control. They didn't attack military bases. They didn't strike ships. They erased infrastructure, power grids, factories, weapon platforms, Varnock communication relays. Every system went dark. The galaxy watches Admiral Serix stood on the bridge of the Unity's flame, staring at live feeds. "This isn't war," he whispered. "It's precision. The humans were not here to conquer. They were here to erase threats." Without killing anyone who didn't fight, drones were seen rescuing civilians from Varnak cities before deleting command centers. One alien officer gasped. "They are giving even enemies a chance to live." Serix nodded. "That's what makes them terrifying." Soul Command speaks across every frequency. A new message echoed to calm, but firm, a human voice, cold, determined. "We are not returning to join your councils. We are not here to rebuild your empires. We are here to make sure this never happens again." The end of the Varnak within 12 hours. The Varnak Empire lost all command systems, all weapon factories, all starship engines. All control of space their fleet surrendered, without a single shot being fired back. Varnak leaders tried to send a message of peace. Earth did not reply, but Earth did not destroy them either. The galaxy reacts. Some feared the Terrans. Others worshipped them, and some dared to hope that, maybe, just maybe, Earth had returned to bring balance, not chaos. Admiral Serix, speaking to the Union Council, said, "The humans are not the same species we knew. They are stronger, smarter, and colder. But they are still human. That means we have a chance." The galaxy was silent. The Varnak Empire had fallen without invasion. Without mass death, without a final battle, the Terran Dreadnoughts had done exactly what they said. They removed the threat. Then, they stopped every species-weighted Union leaders. Old enemies, distant planet Sol, waited for Earth's next move. Would the Terrans take control? Would they conquer? Would they disappear again? But Earth did none of that. They simply stood watch. Inside, Soul Command, the newly awakened humans walked the halls of the giant ship. Scientists, engineers, historians, leaders, not one was a soldier. They weren't here to fight. They were here to guide the AI. Omega-13 explained. "War has ended. Destruction is complete. Now begins the Terran Restoration Protocol." A message to the galaxy. Every ship, planet, and station received the same signal spoken in a calm human voice. This is the new law of the stars. 1. No species may commit genocide. 2. No species may create weapons of planetary destruction. 3. No species may enslave another. Break these rules, and Earth will return. The Union reacts inside the Union High Council. Many feared the message, but Admiral Serix stood and spoke clearly. "We have seen what they can do. And yet, they chose restraint. This is not control, this is protection. They are not gods, but they are watching." The Council voted. Earth's laws were accepted. The Terran Protocol became galactic law. The Varnak, remnant survivors of the Varnak Empire, lived but under supervision. Terran drones helped rebuild their cities, not as punishment, but as a second chance. One young Varnak child asked a drone, "Why didn't you kill us?" The machine paused, then answered, "Because Earth remembers what mercy means." Years passed. Slowly the galaxy changed. Peace returned. Not from fear, but from understanding. With Earth watching from above, no one dared start another war. New alliances formed. Old enemies shook hands. Trade routes reopened. And in the dark corners of space, whispers of Terran ships still patrolling kept everyone honest. Inside Soul Command, final log. The AI, Omega-13, recorded its final log entry before returning to sleep. Mission complete. The galaxy is stable. The Terran fleet will remain in silence until it is needed again. The lights dimmed. The stasis pods closed. Earth was once again quiet, but not gone.